Bienvenue à la soirée découverte des programmes d'études supérieures dans la faculté de médecine et sciences de la santé at McGill. My name is Amy Ryan. I'm the Associate Dean for Graduate and Postdoctoral Affairs in the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. So I thank everybody for joining us this evening. I'm going to just make a brief announcement in French, and then most of the session will actually be in English. So, merci à tous ceux qui ont participé à notre session ce soir. La majeure partie de la session déroulera en anglais parce que nous allons utiliser cette vidéo pour le partager avec nos candidats internationaux. Par conséquent, la plupart des informations seront données en anglais. Mais n'hésitez pas à poser des questions en français ou à les poser dans le chat. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. I want to begin, if I can, with just a brief acknowledgement that McGill University is located on unceded territory that has long served as a site of meeting and exchange amongst our Indigenous peoples, including the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe nations. Nous saluons et remercions les divers peuples qui ont enrichi de leur présence ce territoire. Aujourd'hui, excusez-moi, enrichit leur présence de ce territoire accueillant. Aujourd'hui, des gens de partout dans le monde. So welcome everybody. I am grateful to be living, working, and playing on these unceded territories, and try to remember in my sort of daily life and all of my activities to be grateful for the peoples who have long kept these lands, and do my part to keep them clean and ensure their longevity. So many of you are here tonight because you might be wondering, what are you going to do next? Where are you going to be in September 2025 or January 2026? You're finishing a degree. You may be in the workforce. You may be thinking, I need something else. I need to enrich my education. So you've come to the right place. We hope that tonight we're going to provide you with some suggestions. And just briefly, here's an overview of how tonight will roll out. So I'm going to give a brief introduction about our faculty and the graduate programs within the faculty. And you're going to hear from each of our graduate programs in the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, as well as interfaculty programs where members of our faculty also supervise. After there'll be a very brief introduction. You're going to find out more about specific programs by going to breakout rooms where you'll be able to ask specific questions about more details about what goes on in the program, the specializations within the program, and if there are specific application processes for that program. So that will be in breakout rooms at the end of the overview session, and that will start shortly after 6. Okay, just so everybody knows, we're recording tonight's session, and within about a week, you'll be sent a link to the presentation. So feel free to take notes. I'm not trying to tell you to stop taking notes, but you will be getting all of this information and the video sent to you. So in the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, we have over 2,100 graduate students. And as well, in our sort of parallel interfaculty programs, there's probably another 500 students that live in those 3 interfaculty programs. These break down to roughly being sort of 37 to 40% PhD students, 30% master's students who are doing a thesis-based program, and then another 30% are doing non-thesis programs. We also have about 3% of that 2,600 students are actually in diploma or certificate programs. So not going on to a full graduate degree, but advancing their education. About 25% of our student body is international, and they come from all parts of the globe. And about 60% of our student body are women. We have also within the faculty more than 300 postdoctoral fellows that you'll be working alongside in the labs, and greater than 800 research faculty members. Our sites are located across Montreal, and this originally was doing as a pop-up, but I guess I lost it. So we're here The McGill main campus is where this red locator arrow is. And we have a number of different life sciences programs there. But also at our affiliated research institutes around the city, there are graduate programs and a lot of graduate students working, including the Douglas Research Institute, the Research Institute of the McGill University Health Center, the Lady Davis Institute at the Jewish General Hospital, the Neuro at the Montreal Neurological Hospital, and as well as the Institut de Recherche Clinique de Montréal. So when you're thinking about why to apply, people have probably told you some of these good reasons that I've put on the slide here. One of them is that we're consistently ranked as one of the top medical doctoral universities in Maclean's university rankings in Canada. Montreal and McGill in particular is really a vibrant, educational and research-rich milieu in North America. And it consistently attracts some of the best and brightest students and health professionals, as well as scientists. Our faculty has 35 distinct research centers and institutes, and more than 20 departments that collaborate across disciplines, across professions, and across borders. And if you didn't know yet, Montreal is an amazing multicultural city that is, and I should have put this in quotes, affordable. It's getting more expensive like everywhere, but it's also extremely student-friendly. However, I think some of our better reasons to apply here is what we envision for you as graduate students in our programs. So as graduate students, you're going to be junior colleagues who are joining research teams to learn, but also to really contribute to the creation of new knowledge. And that's going to change how we think about cellular and molecular processes. It's going to change and impact health and how we affect clinical practice. We view that all graduate students should be in supportive training environments. That's going to challenge you to achieve your potential, but also support you while you do that and prepare you for your future careers, whether they're academic careers or non-academic careers. And this means that you're going to have lots of opportunities, including some space and time to develop both your hard and your soft skills during your graduate studies. The other thing we're going to provide you with, as I said, to be at the forefront of cutting-edge research projects. There's going to be opportunity as you search and learn about our programs and search for a supervisor or in a non-thesis program, a program that's right for you, where you are going to fit, where this is going to be really something that's designed for you to give you what you need. We also have, for all students who are in our thesis-based program, so this is both master's and PhD thesis-based programs, guaranteed minimum funding packages. And as well, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for your professional development, and that's going to help you transition from graduate programs into your future careers. There's also all kinds of unexpected bonuses to graduate studies, and this includes getting to work on teams, getting to sort of solve problems, figure out puzzles, but also to work on your communication skills, to design new things, to travel. And I think probably what is most exciting is to be the first one to make a discovery, for you to really experience that aha moment when there's nobody else in the world that knows what you just found. And that is a particularly thrilling part, I think, for most graduate students, and even for most of us who have been in labs and been supervising students for a long time. I want to remind you as part of this process that we're talking about the programs in the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences today. But to get into these programs, you're going to have to register, and you do that through the central website at mcgill.ca/GPS. There's all kinds of information there for you, including special sections on prospective students and applying to graduate schools. And I think in addition to the information that you're going to hear tonight, there's an opportunity for you to search by the keywords that are resonating most with you and find out where those programs are within McGill where you can do that type of research. So tonight, you're going to discover our graduate programs. You're also going to hear from our 3 interfaculty programs: integrated program in neuroscience, quantitative life sciences, and biological and biomedical engineering. And we hope that as you go through this process, you're going to find a program, a research area that is of real interest to you. And I would like to just sort of take this moment just to make a plug for choosing a supervisor. You will find information about this both on the central site at GPS, which stands for Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies at McGill, but you're also going to hear a little bit tonight. And so I just want you to remind you, as you're looking into these programs, if you're going into a thesis-based program, you're going to have to find a supervisor that is willing to take you on and that you match with. And so when you're doing this, be courageous, ask questions, find out an opportunity for you that's at the forefront of cutting edge research, a place where you can really develop the skills you want to develop, and that's going to help transition you from a graduate degree into a future career. And as you're going through this process, I invite you to think about your values, think about what's important to you. What kind of support do you want from a supervisor? What kind of support do you need? And I would strongly encourage you to really meet and talk to students and other postdocs in that research group, because we know that this matching well with a supervisor, matching well with a research team is really important for underpinning your success as a graduate student. And it's usually a one-on-one thing on how we fit with somebody and how we can work with. And there are a lot of great supervisors here for you to explore at McGill. So that's just a brief introduction to our programs, to some of the things you should be thinking about. And now what we're going to do is we're going to switch, and you're going to hear a little bit about each of the programs that is here tonight. They're going to give you about 2 minutes about their programs. And after that, we're going to go into program-specific Zoom rooms, or you can remain in this room for general questions and answers. And with that, I'm going to be passing, I'm going to pass this off to the people doing the presentations, and I would just ask that they unmute and turn on their camera to present for you now. Okay, so the first up is anatomy and cell biology.
Hello, I'm Christian Rochelo. I'm the graduate program director for the cell biology graduate program. So we're first with the anatomy, but our graduate program is primarily focused more on the cell biology area. Thank you. So our graduate program is pretty broad, that we're looking at many different aspects of cell biology, whether you're interested in cytoskeleton, intracellular trafficking, developmental biology, and stem cells and aging. We have a really excellent structural biology facility with cryo-EM and really top-notch stuff that you can find. We're interested in cell signaling and the extracellular matrix, cell interactions. I see what look like worms on that part of the slide, so I'll just plug that we have various model systems, like people are doing C. elegans, mouse, cell culture organoids. We got associated people who are doing flies. We do a lot of things involved in gene expression in the cell cycle. And as mentioned, we're located in multiple groups. So there's about 25 core members of this program, of the anatomy and cell biology department, and then another 30 associate members from other departments that are part of this program, myself included. And in addition to that, we have another 11 adjunct people who can have, with a co-supervisor, you could work in their lab. And we're located, our home base is the Strathcona Anatomy and Dentistry building on the main campus. But we also are located at the Montreal Neurological Institute, the Life Sciences Center. Off campus, we're at the MUHC Research Institute, the Lady Davis, and St. Justine. Next slide. So a lot of good reasons to join our department. It's fairly small, but big enough that there's a lot of different things going on. We provide a mentor for every person in addition to their supervisor to help guide you through the program. We have research and progress seminars. All the students have to give seminars every year. Plus, we have a seminar series from outside, people coming from all over the world to talk. We have an annual retreat. That's a sleepaway retreat that's organized by the students, and the students organize social events such as a spring fling and our annual barbecue at the beginning of the season. And there's lots of collaboration within our department and with other departments as well. Many of our students go on to do different things, either stay in academia, do a postdoc, and then someday join a university, or they go into biomedical research in pharma. Some of my students are in pharma or have become medical writers. since leaving, or work in public health or in government. And so here's a picture of our department at one of our barbecues outside of the main building. Application deadlines for international students, this probably applies for everyone, is January 15th. And we got the wrong slide here because that's supposed to be updated. 2025. And for Canadian students, it's June 1st. And our websites and email are here if you want to get in contact. And please visit us in our breakout room. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris. So biological and biomedical engineering next.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. So my name is Mario Jordan. I teach at the program, the non-thesis program in biomanufacturing. So this is one of our interfaculty programs between the Faculty of Medicine and the Faculty of Engineering. It's a dual program in biomedical and biological engineering, non-thesis, so it's course-based. So the students don't do research as such, but the practical training that they get is through an internship. So it's very oriented towards industry. And if I can have the next slide, thank you. So this fills a need where the Canadian government has identified a priority for development in Canada, which is in biomanufacturing. We can go to the next slide, please. So biomanufacturing really offers a lot of new therapies that are really transforming healthcare. And the program prepares you to work in this field, whether it's the level of product design, whether it's in the area of generating cells and cell systems to generate these therapeutics, or whether it's in the field of processing, purification, formulation. It's a very technologically driven field that has really a lot of opportunities in terms of making a difference in therapeutics, but also in terms of career choices. Next slide, please. Sorry, the previous one, just very briefly. So these, we have internships with several major companies, including Moderna, Sanofi, BioVectra, that support our program. We have other internships with several partners that you can see on the screen. Some are here in Montreal, others are located in Toronto, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, Saskatoon, Vancouver. So overall, there's 4 months, 8 months of courses. So 2 terms, and then 2 terms of an 8-month long internship. If these are our deadlines, we accept students from very various backgrounds, all the way from life sciences and medicine, engineering in all disciplines, biological sciences, physical sciences. There's a core curriculum but we are able to prepare students, with very different backgrounds. So feel free to visit our website, and I will be happy to hear your questions at the session later.
Thank you. Next, we have biochemistry.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alice. I'm a PhD student in the Department of Biochemistry, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about our graduate program. So graduate students in the program are trained to develop an in-depth expertise in biochemistry and the biomedical sciences in order to be able to apply those biochemical concepts and techniques to fundamental and translational problems. For example, I study cellular signaling and gene regulation in the treatment of breast cancer. Graduates can then go on to pursue careers of all types in the private, public, and academic sectors. The research by the members of the department can be classified into 5 different streams. Next slide, please. RNA infectious disease, next. Structural biology, next. Molecular oncology, and next, stem cells and regenerative medicine, as well as genomics. With access to one of the best equipped research facilities in Canada, the Life Sciences Complex, as well as other affiliated institutions across Montreal, the department emphasizes collaboration and interdisciplinary thinking in all of our work. One of these institutions, for example, is the GCI, the Goodman Cancer Institute, where over 100 scientists, staff, research support, and admin can take advantage of a wide range of state-of-the-art equipment, innovation platforms, and research expertise in order to conduct research on different types of cancers. Next slide. Similarly, the Center for Structural Biology Research is comprised of 47 faculty members with access to a variety of modern biophysical equipment for techniques such as X-ray crystallography, mass spec, NMR, and more in order to answer problems of biological importance. And yeah, finally, our newest association is with the McGill Center for RNA Sciences, which brings together engineers and scientists of all different backgrounds together to a shared platform in order to use the principles of RNA biology in order to solve diverse problems in the life sciences today. For example, treating disease with mRNA vaccines delivered via lipid nanoparticles. So if you would like to learn more, please feel free to stop by our breakout room later. Thank you.
Thanks, Alice. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. My name is Josie Orsini, and I'm the Graduate Program Director of the new Interdisciplinary Cancer Sciences PhD program. This is the first year that we're running this program. And it's a bit different than the traditional programs that you're hearing. So this program actually is PhD stream only. And what we offer is a unique and innovative training environment where you will have the opportunity to specialize in one particular discipline in the area of cancer research while also obtaining training and education across the whole spectrum of research that spans cancer sciences so that you have a more holistic view, understanding, and appreciation of the kinds of research that go into cancer research. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, it's interdisciplinary within the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. It comprises 60 researchers from 16 different departments within the faculty. They're listed here, so I won't say them, but I'm happy to discuss in more detail in the breakout room. But the goal of this program is to reinforce interdisciplinarity. We use structured approaches that combine coursework, research, and several cohort building activities, which I'll get into in more detail in the breakout room. Next slide, please. And the program spans 4 different pillars. So you would, for example, come in and choose to get core expertise and training in with a researcher in one of these 4 pillars, but then obtain background training and knowledge in the other 4 pillars. So our researchers are spread over 4 different pillars. The first is cancer biology, which is what we call pillar 1, which is the molecular mechanisms governing cancer development and therapeutic response. Pillar 2 is cancer therapeutics and diagnostics, which is research involved in the development and delivery of novel therapies through clinical trials or the engineering of new technologies. Pillar 3 is what we call etiology, prevention, and prognosis. This is research that involves understanding risks and outcomes on the population level, either using epidemiology or omics-based approaches. And finally, pillar 4 is psychosocial oncology, which is research that's involved in understanding the behavioral and societal issues that impact the health and well-beings of individuals dealing with cancer. Next slide, please.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So a few things I want to highlight here. This is the patient-centered approach. So the patient is front and center within the training from the beginning right through to the end, and I can go into details in the breakout room. And what we're offering is we're training the next generation of cancer research leaders that give you that interdisciplinary training so that you're better able to synthesize information across disciplines learn to work with individuals across different disciplines so you can identify knowledge gaps and then devise innovation strategies for how you're going to solve them. The program really reinforces teamwork and collaboration. That's one of the central missions of this program. And we think overall, collectively, this holistic training environment will put you at an advantage when you enter the workforce. And then the final slide, this, and again, I won't go through this, but I'll do this in the breakout room. These are the 3 different ways that we train. So interdisciplinary coursework, cohort team building activities that are not for credit, as well as within the research projects themselves, we introduce interdisciplinary viewpoints. And I'm happy to discuss further in the breakout rooms. Thanks.
Epidemiology, biostats, and occupational health.
Hi, I'm Seung-mi Yang. I'm the education lead of the department. We are a joint department, as the department name shows, but today I will focus on areas of epidemiologic research. All our research has 2 aims. 1, to examine how health and illnesses are distributed in human populations, and 2, consequently, to identify factors that generate the differential distributions of the health outcomes so that we ultimately contribute to improving health in population. Our training program has international reputations for the rigorous conceptual, quantitative, and methodological research skills. The next slide, please. So we have very numerous research teams as shown here, and they are not necessarily exclusive to each other. So the environmental EPI focuses on understanding how climate change, air pollution, or environmental toxicants affect health. In fact, we are launching Center for Climate Change and Health this week to broaden and deepen this line of research. Infectious EPI focuses on occurrence and treatment of various infectious diseases such as HIV and TB, as well as on modeling transmission dynamics. Members of our department have made important contributions to the pan-Canadian efforts to monitor and predict the COVID-19. Pharmacoepi is also another large research area in the department where potential benefits and harms of medications are studied using provincial, national, and international prescription databases. Perinatal epidemiology examines maternal health during pregnancy, risk of adverse pregnancy outcomes, and long-term pediatric health in relation to parental and own risk factors. Social EPI focuses on health equity in population and how public policies and public programs affect health in population. Health services and systems research focuses on how our healthcare systems generate differential distributions of health conditions in population by subpopulations and also between countries as well. Chronic disease epidemiologic research focuses on various cancers, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and lung diseases, among many others. It's not shown here, but we also study mental health outcomes and their risk factors in psychiatric epidemiology. Importantly, as I mentioned earlier, all our research activities are built on strong methodological and analytical foundations via rigorous training and collaborations with members of our department and beyond. Next slide, please. Our students have numerous research opportunities in multiple programs as shown here. And the next, please. Here's our contact information for you to see our programs and details by website or social media. And I'm happy to answer any questions in the breakout sessions later. Thank you.
Thank you. So next, it's the Division of Clinical and Translational Research.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Maxwell. I'm the president of the Experimental Medicine Graduate Student Society, and I'm going to be presenting the Division of Clinical and Translational Research. Next slide, please. So this division was previously known as Experimental Medicine, and with this program, we offer world-class translational research opportunities for graduate students in interdisciplinary settings at both McGill University and its affiliated research institutes. So similar to other programs, we have students across multiple different institutes. These graduate students pursue cutting-edge medical research in a unique setting in which master's, PhD, and MD researchers collaborate. And while we favor a translational research basis into pathogenesis and treatment of disease, we also have a lot of professors who do basic science research as well. And graduates within our program often find research careers in industry, government, and academia, as well as other sectors not mentioned here. Next slide, please. So our division currently has over 380 graduate students, which are enrolled in one of our 8 programs. The different programs we offer are the master's thesis-based in experimental medicine, where you have options in bioethics, digital health innovation, and environment. We have a PhD in experimental medicine, which I'm currently enrolled in, and there's an option for an environmental focus as well. And we have a graduate diploma in clinical research, as well as a graduate certificate in regenerative medicine. For the research topics, the thesis projects are very diverse, and they include both biomedical and clinical themes. And there are a wide variety of topics such as cell biophysics, respiratory physiology, molecular oncology, and so on. A list of the different approved thesis supervisors, as well as their current research projects, is updated yearly, and it's available on our website for consultation. We have the same application deadlines as the rest of the different programs. And if you want more information, you can see our website or email us or join us in the breakout rooms later. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Family medicine and primary care.
Yeah, my name is Thibaut Schuster. Hello, I'm the Graduate Program Director in Family Medicine, and I will be presenting on our Masters of Science in Family Medicine and our PhD in Family Medicine and Primary Care. An important note, these are non-clinical programs, so they are research-focused and thesis-based. Next slide, please. First, a bit of a background. Our department is located in the Coordination area, one of North America's most vulnerable and most diverse populations. And as you can see on the map up there, we are also surrounded by quite a number of health facilities like hospitals and primary care units. And that reflects one of our key missions, which is to enable effective patient-centered care and advocating for vulnerable populations and communities, as well as promoting sustainability in healthcare systems and innovation in clinical practice. And finally, we also seek to engage in international and global health activities. Next slide, please. So family medicine is really the gatekeeper of the healthcare system. And within our graduate programs, our students learn about how to contribute to evidence-based medicine. And that is done through research, but also through engagement with populations, to contributing to knowledge translation, and also advancing curricula for our medical doctors working in the field. Next slide, please. So this is just one short list of some possible thesis topics. So the thesis topic really depends on the choice of supervisor. Some supervisors really work in the clinical context, some at the health system level, but there's also opportunities to get engaged in ethical issues in family medicine, primary care, or methodological developments such as AI and electronic medical records. Next slide, please. And this is just a formal overview of our program. So it's a credit-based program. So you will have to take required courses and elective courses. The core training is in methodologies like quantitative methods, qualitative methods, with a focus on participatory methods. And the range of electives is quite large. We are very proud to also have some indigenous faculty. So we also advancing teaching and research in indigenous health and global health. And the final slide, I'm happy to discuss with you some opportunities where you can go after you graduated in family medicine, primary care. So I look forward to the breakout room discussions. Thank you.
Thank you. Human genetics.
Hi, everyone. I'm David Langlais. I'm the Graduate Program Director of Human Genetics. I'm going to present you what we offer in terms of programs. So we are pretty big graduate program where we offer a non-thesis genetic counseling program to become a clinical genetic counselor. And then we offer 3 different thesis-based programs that are research-based. The first one would be a master's degree. Then after that, you have the PhD degree, and we offer a very unique joint PhD degree between Kyoto University and McGill, where you would get a joint PhD degree from both universities. Next slide, please. When we think about human genetics, sometimes we just think about the strands of letter that makes our DNA, but human genetics is a lot more than that. So our researcher, we have 480 different labs in which you can find a supervisor and do research and very broad genetics research, including wet lab research, bioinformatics, clinical research, and also bioethics. That would touch everything from human genetic itself, but everything that affects humans, including pathogens, including animals, including the rest of the environment. Our lab members are widespread across McGill sites and affiliated hospitals as well. We have a main core at the Institute of Genomic Medicine on main campus and also at the Life Science Complex on main campus, but you can see that we have a vast variety of sites across campus, and most of our researchers have a very interdisciplinary research program and very collaborative research program where you're going to have opportunities to travel and to do collaboration work through the world. Through support by the department, we offer internships, a lot of conferences and workshops. And if you join our program, you're going to see that we have probably the very best graduate student society that is very, very active, making graduate research days, a lot of activities. So feel free to come and chat with us after. Next slide, please. So what can you do with a training in human genetics and genomics? Everything, I would say, because you've been hearing a lot about personalized medicine and personalized genomics. That's where clinical research and basic research is heading to. So you're going to have access to different kinds of work after that. So we really welcome you to come and chat with us after. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next program is the Institute of Health Sciences Education.
Hi, I'm Peter Nugas. I'm here with Dr. Mariam Wagner. We're the co-associate directors of the Institute of Health Sciences Education graduate programs. Thanks. Next. So we'll talk first about the graduate certificate in Foundations of Health Sciences Education. This is for health professionals and senior health professions learners from a wide range of health disciplines. It's basically focused on health sciences educators teaching at a post-secondary level. It's an 11-month program that's offered jointly with the Faculty of Education. There are 2 in-person components for 2 weeks in August, 1 in February, but generally it's online. So it's part-time online synchronous and asynchronous instruction with scheduled classes and a lot of independent learning. Next, please. So the benefits of undertaking the graduate certificate in Foundations of HSE is there's a lot of opportunities in educational leadership. This is a really kind of exploding professional domain of work as program directors, clinician educators, education managers, curriculum designers in hospitals and in universities, participation in policy making and change management, and you get a lot of foundation skills and theories to get some credit towards a master's degree, which is also held jointly with the Faculty of Education and our PhD in Health Sciences Education, which I'll move on to. And our webpage has more information on that. So next, please. So our PhD in Health Sciences Education is for qualified graduates from various disciplines. We have students from the health professions and also from the humanities and social sciences and also from the natural sciences who have some experience in teaching, mentoring and educational scholarship. Some of the topics that people are researching include clinical reasoning, professional identity formation, continuing professional development, innovations in teaching and learning, student assessment and program evaluation, and education and health systems. It's a 4-year program, which is focused very much on theoretical development within educational topics. So you take courses on theoretical perspectives of relevant topics and research design. You complete an advanced methodology course of your choosing because it's a very diverse field. So some people want qualitative, some want quantitative, some want mixed methods, some want participatory. And it also there's a comprehensive exam which is basically focused on your on your thesis topic and earlier courses. The program is really tailored very personally towards the production, submission, and defense of your thesis as an original and theoretically informed contribution to health sciences education. Thank you. Okay, so employment opportunities. Like I said, it's a very, very fast growing and professionalizing field where there's lots of opportunities to work as faculty in a university researching and teaching in a university researching and teaching health sciences education. People now realize that education is actually a separate research field in itself, and it's a growing field, even though higher education itself is shrinking. You can be an educator in the healthcare system, you can be a policymaker in education or healthcare, or you can be a consultant. Thank you. So yeah, please join us in the breakout room if you're interested. Thank you.
Okay, next up is the integrated program in neuroscience.
Hi, I'm Ed Ruthazer, Director of the Integrated Program in Neuroscience. So the integrated program is a vast neuroscience program. We have nearly 600 actively enrolled master's and PhD students, and that size means that when you come to the program, you have access to a very large set of laboratories and research opportunities. We have over 270 affiliated professors across McGill's campuses. So it means that almost anything in the neuroscience field that you're interested in doing, you can find it in the IPN. McGill in general has a long and respected history in the field of neuroscience, one of the world leaders. Some of the historical landmarks that took place at McGill were first human brain surgeries to treat epilepsy by Wilder Penfield at the MNI. The first PET scanner in Canada was built at the MNI. And Brenda Milner, who I'm sure many of you have heard of, she's 106 years old, the founder of the field of neuropsychology. She's still wandering around at the MNI from time to time. So quite an ancient and impressive history. Next slide, please. So students at the in the IPN have many opportunities to receive support for their research. Our students receive both many internal, faculty, and of course, provincial and national awards. Last year, about 220 of our students received competitive studentships, 91 federal and provincial awards. And for example, the Vanier Canada Graduate Scholarship, which is considered kind of the premier graduate scholarship. IPN has consistently had three or even four per year, meaning that we're something like 2.5% of the total Vaniers in Canada in all fields have been held by IPN students. Of course, all students have a guaranteed stipend. And we can talk about that more in the breakout session, but it's essentially in line with the Faculty of Medicine standards, as well as top-ups for students with fellowships. So as a student in the IPN program, you have many opportunities to interact with other students. We have a great student organization, GSAN, which hosts social and academic activities, training sessions. They're doing one on R programming right now as we speak. There's Brain Reach, which is a community outreach teaching opportunities in the local schools. Neurolingo, a chance to get to talk to non-scientists about research at your lab, and other organizations like InfoCerveau, which is a kind of Ask Me Anything session for students to talk to individuals in the community. Finally, as an example of some of the many opportunities that you'd have access to in the IPN, we have an annual retreat, which is 1 or 2 day gathering of students from the entire program, including faculty members. We bring in a big name speaker. Students give their posters, they give presentations. This year's speaker was Ed Boyden from MIT, who's many of you may know is one of the discoverers of optogenetics, and a truly impressive speaker. It was a lot of fun having him. We also have the annual Bernice Grafstein Lecture in Neuroscience, and this year's speaker was Catherine Dulac from Harvard, who spoke about basically olfactory system and sexually dimorphic behaviors. And quite an excellent speaker as well. I think that's all I want to talk about in this session in the interest of time. And in the breakout session, I have a lot more information for specific questions. So please join us there.
Thank you. Next up is microbiology and immunology.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Heather Malachar. I'm the co-director of the graduate program in the Department of Microbiology and Immunology. Next slide, please. We are led by our chair, the incomparable Dr. Samantha Grunheid, who ensures scientific excellence for all of our master's and PhD students. She also is committed to a healthy learning environment for all. Next slide, please. We have over 60 core faculty and associate faculty members that can take and supervise graduate students. They have expertise in bacteriology, virology, and parasitology, the fundamental aspects of these pathogens, as well as their mechanisms of pathogenesis. On the flip side of this, we have several faculty members that are experts in immunology. They study the development and function of the immune system as it responds to pathogens, and with some of our newer recruits, how the immune system fights cancer. Because of the nature of these research programs, which are fundamental, translational, and clinical research, that you can find our labs on the downtown campus, as well as in several McGill affiliated hospitals and research centers. The core of the program, however, is of course our students. There are currently about 70 graduate students that make up a vibrant student network. The Microbiology and Immunology Graduate Association really enriches our program. They plan social activities, networking activities, and training activities such as boot camps for fellowship writing and comprehensive exam preparation. So as per some of the other programs that were mentioned, we have upcoming deadlines in January for international students, and then a few months later for Canadian residents. I am looking forward to talking to you more about our program in the breakout rooms, but you can also access some information at the websites and email address on this slide. See you soon. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Next up is Ingram School of Nursing.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. So I'm here to present 4 different programs tonight, but focusing on one of them. So if you can go next slide, please. So we have 3 different master's programs. The first one is the one I'm going to focus on for the evening, but I will let you know about the other 3 as well in case there are some nurses in the room that might be interested. The first program is for non-nurses. So if you're interested in getting into health sciences at a graduate level, this is the one that we're going to focus on tonight. But I should let you know that we also have an advanced nursing program, which is a program for master's program for registered nurses. And we also have the nurse practitioner program, which allows nurses to go on and continue their studies to a new registration as a nurse practitioner. Additionally, we do have a PhD, which non-nurses are also eligible for. If you're interested in doing healthcare research, a PhD in nursing might be an option for you as well. Next slide, please. The direct entry program, as it's been called, is unique. It's the only program of the kind in Canada. So it allows you to get a master's level entry into nursing. So if you have done a basic science degree, a bachelor degree, you probably have a lot of the science prerequisites that we require. And it's a way of orienting your studies towards an applied healthcare profession. It's a 3-year program, and we have 2 concentrations, one focusing on sort of entry to practice nursing skills, and the other one focusing on global health. Next slide, please. The direct entry program offers a lot of clinical stage hours. We're in clinical stage on the 3rd week of the program. There's over 1,000 clinical hours provided in the program of many different disciplines, as you see, med-surg, surgery, rehab, perinatal nursing, critical care, community care, pediatrics. There's a lot of skills in our high-tech skills lab and health and physical assessment courses that are done there as well. We also have research and knowledge translation options because this program prepares you not only to be an entry to practice nurse, but it prepares you also for nursing leadership roles, knowledge translation, and research. So it allows you to go on and study a PhD if you'd like. You can go to the next slide. Yeah, the global health concentration really focuses on populations that have difficulty accessing care for social justice reasons. So we're really looking at health in terms of a social justice lens. We have many placements here in Montreal with populations that are underserved, as we do in the far north and in other countries. Next slide, please. As I was mentioning earlier, we do have 2 different streams within the program where you're able to complete knowledge translation, taking existing knowledge and putting it into practice at the bedside. Or if you're more interested in the research side of things, we do have a research stream where you're actually generating new knowledge alongside tenured track professors, where that knowledge can hopefully generate into practices at the bedside. This is the stream that if you're interested in going on to do PhD studies is the one that I would recommend for you. Next slide, please. There's lots of different opportunities in leadership, and a lot of them are less known. Everyone thinks of a nurse at the bedside, but in fact, nurses are involved in education, management, government. We're involved in politics, NGOs. There's many different organizations that hire nurses for a variety of different tasks. So there's really a lot of versatility within the profession and a lot of opportunities with the additional master's credentials, rather than most individuals that go on and do nursing as a second degree, go back to do a bachelor degree. The master's really offers additional opportunities. Next slide, please. We have a website where all this information is, and we'll be happy to answer any questions in the breakout session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next program is otolaryngology.
Hello, my name is Bernard Siegel. I'm the Graduate Program Director in the Department of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery. Next slide, please. We have a small, vital department. We are a primary clinical program where we focus on patients, where you as a graduate student will help the physician and residents better treat their patients. We are highly interdisciplinary, where you will have both a clinician and a basic scientist as a supervisor. We're small, so there's lots of one-on-one, and we're vital in that the head and neck structures allow you to breathe and eat and experience the world. You can smell, you can hear, you can taste, you can feel not only your face, but your structures inside your body, your head, as you swallow and eat. And all of these lead to promoting good health through research. Next slide, please. The research areas in our department, we focus on cancer to develop better treatments and therapies. We are developing personalized medicine. We are helping patients when they have problems with all of their sixth sense. The sixth sense is not women's intuition, but the knowledge of where you are in the room. We have the largest cochlear implant program in Quebec, and we are helping patients better hear when they couldn't before. All of these lead to better positions in medicine, dentistry, therapy, vets, and doing clinical research and in industry. And we're excited to announce that our graduate program is expected to join the Department of Surgical and Interventional Sciences, so that our graduate students will be part of a larger department and will have the potential to move on to the PhD level for those who want. Join us in the break room.
Thank you. Our next program that we're going to hear from is pathology.
So good evening, everybody. My name's Carolyn Baglow, and I'm the Graduate Program Director for the Department of Pathology. So the Department of Pathology offers thesis-based master's and PhD programs, as well as a combined MD-PhD program. We're one of the smaller departments. We have approximately 40 graduate students, and that small student body really means that every student is well supported at all levels. So whether it's administratively by me, the Graduate Program Director, the Graduate Training Committee, as well as other administrative staff, as well as financially. So the Department of Pathology is a clinical department. So our investigators and supervisors are really at the interface of both fundamental and translational research, with a focus on disease pathogenesis, novel diagnostics, as well as therapies. So if you have a look at our website, you'll see that there are 23 research faculty that study a wide range of diseases, everything from cancer to gynecological diseases, gastrointestinal disorders, lung diseases, neuropathology, as well as many others. Within the website, you can search for the faculty as well as the specific disease that you might be interested in. So the graduates go on to a diverse array of different careers, whether it's another professional degree or opportunities in academia, industry, as well as government. So most of the labs are located within the McGill University Health Center network, so the RIMUHC, but also other leading health research institutes within McGill. And so that really helps place the students in the Department of Pathology at the heart of biomedical research in Quebec and Canada, where you have access to cutting edge technologies and techniques to further your research projects. So there's a Pathology Graduate Student Society that helps organize social events, but we have many other opportunities for interaction between the graduate students and the faculty and residents, one of which is the annual Departmental Research Day that provides a forum for graduate students to present their own network, to present their own research, as well as have opportunities working within the department. So I'll answer any specific questions that you may have about courses and credits within the Baker Room, or any other questions that you may have with respect to the graduate program in pathology.
Thank you. Next up is pharmacology and therapeutics.
Yes, hello. My name is Lisa Munter. I'm the graduate program director in the pharmacology program. And since I don't see myself, I'm wondering if you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, so if you want to make a contribution to cure human health, you may want to think of the Department of Pharmacology and Therapeutics as the right department for you. We aim to teach what you actually need to know. Oh, we are not there yet. Sorry. We aim to teach what you need to know and learn about a certain disease to develop therapeutics. Also, you may wonder how forever chemicals or softeners, environmental molecule, not environment, like industry-produced molecules act on our body. And this is something we teach in toxicology, which is part of the pharmacology program. So we are located in the downtown campus of McGill. Most of our PIs are in this round McIntyre building that you can see in the middle of the picture, but many of us are also in a newer Bellini Life Sciences building, as well as affiliated institutions that you have seen in the previous departments as well. So we are well cross-connected with the other departments that you have seen so far. On the next slide, please. You'll see that we are also a relatively small department. We have about 18 professors and PIs, 6 adjunct professors, and in our graduate program are 60 to 70 graduate students. So it's not too big, and chances are that you will get to know all of them very well during your time here. We also have a very active student society organizing barbecues, outings. They collaborate with other departments to do activities together. So in our department, we also cover a broad range of diseases and topics from hormones to G protein coupled receptors, gene regulation, in toxicology, as well as in disease processes. We work on DNA therapeutics, on biologics, in very different aspects of that. And on the next slide, we have also a bit of a focus on neuroscience, working on Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, chronic pain, GABA receptors, addiction, and other topics. So all of us in the department use cell culture models, induced stem cell models, and mouse models to model disease and understand what's going on. We have also structural pharmacology within our topics. So it really depends whom you join on where your direction will lie in what you do. We have access to a lot of the core equipment that you have seen on the previous slides. Importantly, we have, for example, a high content microscope with which you can conduct wonderful pharmacological drug screens, for example. And people from our department, graduates, so it's usually about 2 years for a master's. And if you then fast track to a PhD, you may add another 3 to 4 years, plus minus. And our graduates end up in pharmaceutical companies. Some of them continue to study medicine to do an MD, PhD. Many of them end up in Health Canada or contract research organizations. So that's from our department, and I'm happy to elaborate in the breakout rooms.
Thank you. Next up, we have physiology.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Maurice Chacron. I'm professor and the graduate program director for the Department of Physiology graduate program. Next slide. So our research areas focus on 4 broad topics. We have cellular and molecular physiology, neurophysiology, immunology, and cancer, as well as quantitative physiology, including artificial intelligence. So the goal is to understand how physiological systems detect, process, and respond to inputs from the level of single molecules to integrated systems in order to ensure human health. So we meet this challenge challenge by educating the next generation of critical thinkers, you, and train our students with the use of cutting-edge technologies, including optical, electronic, molecular, and mathematical tools. Next slide. So we are associated with several core facilities within the physiology department, as well as affiliated centers. So we have the Cell Information Systems Group, the Advanced Bioimaging Facility, the Center for Applied Mathematics and Biosciences and Medicine, CAMBAM, the Cystic Fibrosis, Translational Research Center. And we are also affiliated with the McGill Center for the Allen Edwards Center for Research on Pain, as well as the Rosalind Morris Goodman Cancer Research Center and the McGill University Research Center on Complex Traits. Next slide. So we have two programs. They're both thesis-based. One is an MSc program. The other one's a PhD program. You can see the various dates. Mostly for the fall, it's May 15th or January 15th for international applicants. Next slide. So we have minimum funding support for all graduate students. So you can see the amounts here, and this is the amount that will be given to the student. And also we have various entrance scholarships that are given here. Next slide. So what can you do with a degree in physiology? Well, these are basically 8 of our graduates examples, and this is what they're doing now. So you have Valerie Walker, who's the Vice President of Talent Skills at the Business Council of Canada. We have Kevin Petreka, who's now the Chief in Department of Neurosurgery at the Montreal Neurological Institute. You can also Gil Bubb, who's now a professor at McGill, and Kelly Bullock, for example, who's now working on scientific illustration. Next slide. So I'm happy to answer any questions in the breakout room. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next program is the Quantitative Life Sciences program, which is another one of our interfaculty programs.
Yes, thank you. I'm Fred Guichard. I'm the director for the PhD program in Quantitative Life Sciences. And you see here our current cohort, or part of our current cohort at QLS. Next slide. So the Quantitative Life Sciences is really taking a very broad approach. It's an interfaculty program in medicine and science. It's very interdisciplinary. And what we do in a nutshell is taking all the levels of biological organizations, from the molecule to the whole ecosystems, and let students take all the quantitative approaches that come from mathematics, physics, computer science, and many others that are applied to all these disciplines, and just make a big mix and let students make breakthroughs by borrowing methods and quantitative methods to solve their own life science problems. And that could include using models that are developed in gene regulation networks to solve the response of lake ecosystems to climate change. That could also involve really looking at different architecture of machine learning across life sciences to just adapt them and borrow from different disciplines. So next slide. I want to say this, Quantitative Life Sciences is a recent program. So we started in 2017 and we've graduated 12 students so far. And we have a cohort of around 65 to 66 students. And from a recent survey, the results so far show that QLS students are the most satisfied at McGill. And the program really fosters this supportive environment because we have a small program. We're really close to students. And the students really have a strong sense of belonging and community in that program. And that's really helping them to understand what it means to be a member of a scholarly community. So that came out recently. So next slide. To achieve that goal, that ambitious goal, is we have a very unique structure where students go through a rotation between 3 research groups across disciplines during their first year. That's meant to give them breadth and to let them develop some depth and particular quantitative skills across disciplines, and which is funded by the program. And in the second year, they choose a supervisor. By the beginning of the second year, they choose a supervisor to actually complete their PhD thesis. And where we have co-supervisions, we have over close to 100 faculty members who can offer that breadth of knowledge and disciplines. The training during the first year also includes a a large capstone course that is very modular with 6 modules that last 4 weeks each, where students are exposed to specific skills with really hands-on experience in quantitative skills and problems in life sciences. And what we're expecting, so we're, again, to be successful, we are expecting students coming to us with a strong quantitative training that can include mathematics, statistics, computer science, and physics, but also experience and knowledge in at least one of the life sciences to get a good head start. And I will skip a few slides. So next slide. Let's skip that for the again. Let's skip this. Skip this also. Wait a second. Yes, let me talk about this one. So far I mentioned, so 12 students have graduated since 2017, and we have multiple examples for the success of our program of students participating in research and industry internships. And our students have won thesis awards, including the Governor General's Gold Medal, and they have been able to find positions as assistant professors, as postdocs in the industry, very strong positions that they obtain. And next slide. I invite you to the breakout rooms, and then you can have all the information and really contact us. So you have all the info here to contact us if you are interested and have questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have the School of Communication Sciences and Disorders.
Yes, I'm Ellen Thordedottir. I am the director of this school, but also previously graduate program director. So what we deal with at the School of Communication Sciences and Disorders is, as the name would imply, anything that has to do with the communication between people and how it develops, how it functions, and how it can also break down. So we deal with things like language, which are the words and complex sentences of the language, the phonological system, the ability to produce speech sounds correctly. We deal with the social uses of language, so when you can talk, when you can interrupt others, when you cannot, how you can be affirmative versus cynical, or use different registers. And then we look at that throughout the lifespan. We have research on infant sensitivity to different sound systems and grammatical structures, all the way to aging, where it can, and how this can break down. So in childhood, because of developmental language disorder and other disorders, conditions such as Down syndrome or autism or dyslexia or ADHD or a number of things. And in aging, because of things like stroke, traumatic brain injury, and various neurogenic disorders that impact the ability to understand language, use language, produce speech sounds. We also look at voice and healthy voice disorders, and conditions such as stuttering that impact the motor speech system. So we have a clinical program that trains speech language pathologists, and that is a master's program. And that's on my slide. We have the people who enter that master's program come from a lot of different disciplines, because it is a master's program where people can have any kind of degree when they come in, and certain prerequisites also. If you want to be a clinical speech language pathologist, you have to finish the master's program with a clinical training. As far as research, we have master's program in that can follow the clinical program or be non-clinical. And we have our doctoral program. And the doctoral program has partly students who have clinical training and who might do clinical research, such as developing diagnostic tools or do intervention efficacy research. Or it might be people who do not have a clinical background and who wish to study basic aspects of the functioning of communication. So we have at the moment 8 professors in our department. We're a bit short-staffed because of some retirements, but we look at things. These look at things like language development in infancy, voice physiology, autism research, bilingualism and multilingualism research, neural processing of emotion, language learning from digital media. So looking at whether children, whether it's good for them that we've switched to digital media rather than books. So those are the main fields that we research at the moment. So we have the clinical, the non-clinical, and a very strong research program. There are two main research centers that we collaborate with. One of them is a CRBLM, which is more includes researchers from the other universities in Montreal as well on the general topic of language. And another one that is called the CREER, that is more of a rehabilitation center, research center, where we are in clinical sites and do clinical research. So that is the main overview of our program. We have funding from a lot of different sources. We are a very eclectic kind of field because we have to, in order to look at all kinds of things that have to do with communication, we collaborate with a lot of other disciplines, such as linguistics, psychology, education, engineering, sometimes dentistry, because there are a lot of related things that can impact communication. So that's what I'm going to say for now. I will be there in the breakout rooms.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, our next is surgical and interventional sciences.
So welcome to the Department of Surgical and Interventional Sciences Unit about pushing back.
Dr. Molly, I think we have lost you.
Boundaries and
So
hello.
I think you keep going in and out. Can someone confirm that you can still hear me and it's not me that has disappeared off Zoom?
I can hear you, Amy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, unfortunately, I think Dr. Molly is having some connection. Are you back? So I think he's having some connection issues. So go ahead. Or Sharon, are you on to go through the slides?
I'm here,
Hello,
Amy.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, good. He's
Dr.
gone
Molly,
again.
okay, he's gone. Okay. So Sharon, do you want to go through or do you want us to just sort of go through the slides?
I think I'm going to ask if Laura, hang on a second, okay, Amy?
Okay. Okay, so we're just about, this is our, I think our last presentation. So maybe what we'll do is we'll just introduce, so this is a program in surgical and interventional sciences. It's in the Department of Surgery within the School of Medicine at McGill University. And they have a number of different programs, including non-thesis programs, master's thesis programs, and PhD programs. You can also get a diploma in surgical innovation or a certificate in surgical innovation. There are different streams within this program, from an experimental surgery stream to surgical outcomes, global surgery, digital health innovation, surgical education, and a master's non-thesis program in oncology. So this is basic translational and applied research in the areas of epidemiology, general surgery, oncology, orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery and transplantation, cell therapy, and urology. The application requirements are available on the website, as well as listed here. The application deadlines are, as for the others, January 15th for internationals and April 1st for domestic. So you should pay attention because some of the departments have department-specific deadlines. And they will be happy to meet with you in the breakout room, although Dr. Molly has some technical difficulties. Other members of the team will be there and will be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And with that, a little bit more on the interventions. And now this brings us to the end of our session. I'm just going to turn my video back on. So thank you, everybody, for, I'll stop the share. Oops, sorry. Stop the share. Thank you, everybody, for being with us this evening so far. We're now going to go into the breakout rooms. Yang will be opening the breakout rooms, and then everybody will have access to move freely between the breakout rooms. We're asking that programs in a sort of 2 minutes, they're going to do 2 sort of slightly more formal presentations at 6:20 and at 6:40. So if you want to catch something a little bit more detail in one of the breakout rooms, we ask that you sort of transition for that. And with that, I want to thank all of our presenters again, both the graduate program directors and the students in particular who came with us tonight. Within the breakout rooms, you'll find students, graduate program directors, as well as student support people that will be there to answer your questions and help you guide. Yang and I will be staying in this main room for anybody that has questions or has trouble moving between rooms. So with that, I think the rooms are open. We invite you to choose the appropriate room and enjoy the rest of your evening. Merci à tous.
Okay, now all the rooms are open. If anybody having trouble to move to your designated room, please let me know. All the participants, you can move in any room as you desire.
We would ask that the people from the programs go to their own rooms.
Yeah.
At least to start.
My laptop. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but you were in and out, so I went through your slides.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem. Hopefully you'll have better success in the breakout room.
Thank you.
Yang, where can I find the breakout room list?
I think, okay, at the bottom, do you see like dot, dot, dot? It says more.
Yeah.
I can move you into one. Do you want me to
Okay,
do that?
gotcha.
Okay.
No, I find one. Thank you.
Okay.
Amy, I'm going to pause the recording now, okay?
Yes.